a sprawling emerald forest, nestled among towering trees and crystal clear streams, lay a hidden village named Leora. The village was famed for its enchanting beauty and the warmth of its people, but it was also known for a legend that spoke of a mystical lantern, said to have the power to grant one wish to someone with a pure heart. The lantern, known as the Lantern of Leora, had been lost for centuries, and many had tried to find it without success. The legend said that the lantern was hidden away in the deepest part of the forest, and only someone who truly needed it and had a heart full of kindness would be able to find it. In this village lived a brave and kind-hearted girl named Aisling. Aisling was known for her generosity and her determination to help others. She spent her days caring for the village animals, tending to the sick, and helping her neighbors in any way she could. Despite her efforts, the village had recently faced a series of hardships. Crops had failed. The river had run dry, and a strange illness had plagued the villagers. One evening, as Aisling sat by a flickering fire in her small cottage, she overheard an old story about the Lantern of Leora and its magical powers. Her heart ached for her village, and she felt a deep desire to restore its prosperity. Determined to help, Aisling decided to embark on a quest to find the lantern and bring hope back to her people. With a small bundle of supplies and a heart full of hope, Aisling set out into the Emerald Forest. The forest was known for its magical creatures and hidden wonders, but it was also filled with challenges. Her first trial was a dense fog that rolled in, making it difficult to see. Aisling carefully followed the soft glow of fireflies that seemed to guide her path through the mist. As she ventured deeper, she encountered a wise old deer named Eldon standing by a large, ancient tree. Eldon's eyes glowed with a gentle light, and he spoke in a deep, soothing voice. To proceed, you must solve the riddle of the forest. What can travel around the world while staying in a corner? Aisling thought for a moment and answered, a stamp. Eldon nodded in approval, and the way forward was revealed. Continuing her journey, Aisling arrived at a sparkling river that flowed with a magical, shimmering water. A delicate bridge made of woven vines stretched across the river, but it was guarded by a curious sprite named Pippa who fluttered above the water. Pippa smiled mischievously and said, to cross, you must share a story that brings joy and hope. Aisling began to tell Pippa a tale of how the villagers had once come together to rebuild a broken bridge, using their combined skills and strength to overcome adversity. The story was filled with hope and unity, and Pippa was so moved that she allowed Aisling to cross the bridge. As Aisling reached the other side, she followed the path illuminated by the light of the moon. The path led her to a hidden grove where the air was filled with the sweet fragrance of blooming night flowers. In the center of the grove was a large, ancient stone covered in glowing runes. Aisling approached the stone, and a soft voice spoke from within. You have shown great bravery and kindness on your journey, the voice said. The Lantern of Leora lies beyond the enchanted mist. Only one with a pure heart can unveil its light. Aisling's heart raced as she followed the directions given by the voice. She passed through a veil of shimmering mist and found herself in a serene glade bathed in moonlight. At the center of the glade was an ornate pedestal upon which rested the Lantern of Leora. The lantern was beautifully crafted, adorned with intricate designs and glowing softly with an inner light. As Aisling approached the lantern, she held her hands over her heart and spoke aloud, I wish for my village to be restored, for the crops to grow again, the river to flow, and for the illness to be cured. I wish for the happiness and well-being of all those who live there. The Lantern of Leora began to glow brightly, and its light spread across the forest and beyond. The magic of the lantern flowed into the land, revitalizing the crops, replenishing the river, and healing the sick. The village of Leora was transformed, and the people rejoiced as their hardships were lifted and their lives returned to prosperity. Aisling returned to her village as a heroine, and her journey became a cherished tale of hope and courage. The Lantern of Leora was placed in the village square, where it continued to shine as a symbol of the magic that exists in every selfless heart. The village of Leora flourished under the light of the lantern, and Aisling's story inspired others to embrace kindness and bravery in their own lives. The legacy of the Lantern of Leora lived on, a reminder of the power of hope and the strength of a pure heart. In the heart of a vast and mystical forest, there was a small, hidden village known as Eldergrove. The village was renowned for its breathtaking beauty and the harmony between its inhabitants and nature. However, the village had a secret that was known only to its elders. Every century, an enchanted lantern would appear in the forest, holding the key to a powerful magic that could protect the village for another 100 years. This lantern was said to glow with a light so pure that it could dispel any darkness. But it had been missing for decades, and the villagers had grown worried as shadows began to creep into their once joyous land. One sunny morning, a young and adventurous girl named Lyra set out from Eldergrove on an errand to fetch herbs for her grandmother. As she wandered deeper into the forest, she stumbled upon an old, crumbling map partially buried beneath fallen leaves. Intrigued, Lyra carefully brushed off the dirt and examined the map. It depicted the forest and led to a mysterious location marked with an ancient symbol, a lantern. Lyra decided to follow the map, hoping it might lead her to the legendary lantern. With her trusty dog, Bramble, by her side, she embarked on a journey through the forest. The Forest of Echoes. The map guided Lyra and Bramble to the Forest of Echoes, a part of the forest where every sound was amplified and returned with a mysterious echo. The echoes were known to be both beautiful and confusing, often leading travelers astray. As they ventured through the forest, Lyra and Bramble encountered a series of echoes that spoke in riddles. They had to listen carefully and solve each riddle to find their way. The first riddle came from a tree with a voice as gentle as the breeze, "I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I?" Lyra thought for a moment and realized the answer was the map. She and Bramble followed the path that the echo revealed, which led them to a shimmering waterfall. The Whispering Waterfall. The second clue was hidden behind the Whispering Waterfall, where the water whispered secrets of the forest. Lyra noticed that the whispers seemed to form words when she listened closely. The whispers spoke of a hidden cave behind the waterfall, where the next clue awaited. Lyra and Bramble carefully made their way behind the waterfall and found a small cave. Inside the cave, they discovered a set of ancient symbols etched into the stone. The symbols were the final clue. They needed to decode them to find the lantern's location. The Enchanted Grove. With the symbols deciphered, Lyra and Bramble were led to the Enchanted Grove, a part of the forest where the trees glowed with a soft, otherworldly light. The lantern was said to be hidden here, but its exact location was shrouded in mystery. As they entered the grove, Lyra noticed a circle of ancient, glowing stones. In the center of the circle was a pedestal with an inscription, "Only the light of true kindness will reveal the lantern's light." Lyra and Bramble spent the day helping the forest creatures, rescuing a trapped fox, nursing an injured bird back to health, and clearing a path for a family of deer. As they performed these acts of kindness, the glowing stones began to shine more brightly. As night fell, the stones illuminated a hidden compartment beneath the pedestal. Inside was the enchanted lantern, glowing softly but not yet at its full potential. Restoring the lantern, Lyra realized that the lantern's light needed to be fully restored by the magic of the forest. She gently took the lantern and placed it in the center of the grove. The forest responded to her kindness, and a magical energy began to flow from the lantern, drawing in the light from the glowing stones and the moonlight above. The lantern's light grew brighter and brighter until it shone with a brilliant, warm glow that filled the entire grove. The once shadowed corners of the forest now sparkled with renewed vitality, and the darkness that had begun to creep into Eldergrove was dispelled. Lyra and Bramble returned to the village, where they were greeted with joy and gratitude. The villagers celebrated the return of the enchanted lantern and the restoration of their beloved forest's magic. Queen Alara, the village's wise and kind leader, presented Lyra with a special medal of honor for her bravery and kindness. The lantern was placed in a prominent spot in the village square, where its light continued to protect and nurture Eldergrove for generations to come. The story of Lyra's adventure became a cherished tale in Eldergrove, reminding everyone of the power of kindness and the importance of protecting the magic that exists within their hearts and their world. And so, the village thrived under the warm light of the enchanted lantern, and the forest remained a place of wonder and magic, cherished by all who lived there. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of a vast and mystical forest, there was a kingdom named Elara. Elara was known for its breathtaking beauty, with towering mountains, sparkling rivers, and lush meadows. At the center of the kingdom stood a magnificent castle where King Rowan and Queen Seraphina ruled with wisdom and kindness. The most treasured possession of the kingdom was the Crystal Crown, a radiant artifact said to hold the power of the stars. This crown was worn only by the ruler during times of great need and was believed to bring prosperity and peace to the land. It was kept safely in a hidden chamber beneath the castle, guarded by an ancient spell. One day, a dark sorcerer named Malachi, who had long envied the kingdom's peace and prosperity, discovered the secret of the Crystal Crown. Driven by greed and a desire for power, he devised a plan to steal it. Under the cover of night, he cast a spell to bypass the crown's magical defenses and stole the precious artifact from its resting place. When King Rowan and Queen Seraphina discovered the theft, they were devastated. Without the Crystal Crown, the kingdom's magic began to wane, and darkness started spreading across the land. The once vibrant fields began to wither, and the rivers dried up. The kingdom was in great distress. In the midst of this turmoil, a brave and kind-hearted young woman named Lyra, who was the queen's loyal servant, stepped forward. Lyra had always been known for her courage and compassion. Determined to restore the kingdom's magic, she offered to retrieve the Crystal Crown from Malachi. The king and queen were initially reluctant, fearing for Lyra's safety, but they knew that she was their best hope. They blessed her journey and gave her a small, enchanted pendant for protection. Lyra set out on her quest, following the faint trail of dark magic left by Malachi. The path led her through the enchanted forest, a place filled with mystical creatures and ancient spells. As she ventured deeper, she encountered a wise old owl named Orin. "Where are you headed, young one?" Orin asked. "To find the Crystal Crown and save my kingdom," Lyra replied. Orin's eyes gleamed with understanding. "Beware, for Malachi's lair is filled with dangerous traps and illusions. You will need both bravery and wit to succeed." Lyra thanked Orin and continued her journey. She crossed the Whispering River, where the water spoke in riddles, and solved their puzzles to gain passage. She climbed the towering cliffs of Echoes, where she faced her deepest fears reflected back at her. With each challenge, Lyra grew more determined and wise. Finally, she reached the dark fortress where Malachi had hidden the Crystal Crown. The fortress was a grim and foreboding place, shrouded in shadow and silence. Lyra approached cautiously and found a hidden entrance. Inside, she navigated through a maze of dark corridors and enchanted traps. Her pendant glowed softly, guiding her and protecting her from harm. As she neared the throne room, she heard Malachi's sinister laughter echoing through the halls. Lyra entered the throne room and saw Malachi seated on a dark throne, the crystal crown glowing menacingly in his hands. The sorcerer's eyes widened in surprise and anger as he saw Lyra. "So, you've come to reclaim what is not yours," Malachi sneered. "I'm here to restore what you have stolen and to bring peace back to my kingdom," Lyra declared. A fierce battle ensued. Malachi unleashed dark spells, but Lyra used her agility and quick thinking to dodge them. She remembered Orin's advice and used her wits to outsmart the sorcerer. In a climactic moment, Lyra managed to knock the crystal crown from Malachi's grasp and secured it with the enchanted pendant's power. Malachi, realizing his defeat, vanished into the shadows, vowing to return one day. Lyra took the crystal crown and made her way back to Elara. Upon her return, the kingdom celebrated Lyra's bravery and determination. The crystal crown was placed back in its rightful place, and its magic began to heal the land. The fields became lush again, the rivers flowed with clear water, and the kingdom's peace was restored. King Rowan and Queen Seraphina honored Lyra with the highest accolade and made her a trusted advisor. Under her guidance, the kingdom flourished like never before. The people of Elara remembered her bravery and kindness, and her story became a cherished legend. And so, the kingdom of Elara thrived, safeguarded by the wisdom of its rulers and the courage of its people. The crystal crown continued to shine brightly, a symbol of hope and resilience for generations to come. The end.